Welcome to the Creative Brew, helping you keep your creative juices brewing. We're giving out chunks of insight, motivation, and practicality for your creative journey. If you're a creator, athlete, or entrepreneur, luck can only get you so far. Having the right skill sets are critical in your success. All Skill No Luck makes handcrafted, custom designed flannel wear, made in the United States and based here right in Oceanside, California. They pride themselves on quality, creativity, and attitude. The perfect brand for the Creative Brew. Use promo code CreativeBrew10 and get 10% off and free shipping within the United States. You can check them out at allskillnoluck.com. My next partner is Elevate Coffee Trading, and if you appreciate specialty coffee, enjoy outdoor adventure, and love helping elevate the lives of children around the world, then you're going to love Elevate Coffee Trading. Their mission is to extract hope through love, coffee, and adventures. There's free shipping in the United States, and every bag of coffee helps sponsor health and education for children in coffee-producing countries and in areas of need in the United States. You can use promo code Elevate21 on your next order, and you can follow their journey on social media at Elevate Coffee Trading. Or you can visit online at elevatecoffeetrading.com, and let's start extracting hope together. And this episode is brought to you by Baba Coffee, smuggling good vibes. Baba roasts their coffee beans each week and only offers the freshest coffee. They have espressos, lattes, cappuccinos, pour over, or drip coffee. You can try their cold brew coffee, nitro cold brew, or bulletproof coffee, and boba milk teas. They also have a wide assortment of delicious food. I would suggest you try the avocado toast, mimosas, wine, or beer. On the weekends, you can check out some great music like the Soto Six and food like Eliza the Shelf and others over the weekend, every Friday and Saturday, beginning at 6 p.m. You can check out everything they got going on Facebook and Instagram at Baba Coffee. To a new episode of the Creative Brew, giving you insights on your creative journey. Today, we got two special guests. We've got Ish, we got Vince, talking about their new comic book, sharing their story, and then everything else that they got going on. So, without without further ado, I'll let Ish and Vince sort of share their story, and we'll get this episode going.
Okay, Vince, do you want to kick it off?
Sure, hey, what's up? Triple OG Comics right here. My name is Vince Vargas. I come from a graffiti background. I do a lot of murals, things like that. I basically, this whole thing wasn't supposed to be what it was like now. It just kind of, snowballed into this huge, huge project. So it kind of all started when me and Ish both worked at the same school, and I knew he was an artist, and I would go by and hit him up. I'd see him drawing stuff, and I decided to collab with him. Then one day we saw each other at the nerd market, actually in Oceanside, and I was like, "What are you doing here? You're selling art and stuff." And I was like, "Hey, would you ever want to collab on something? We can do something." And he was like, "Yeah, let's do it." So we decided to do this like 3 or 4 page, quick, funny, like Tamale Guy themed kind of a thing. And it kind of turned into this big thing. I'll let Ish tell you more about how it kind of snowballed.
Oh, well, it's kind of a funny story. So yeah, I told Vince we're doing a comic book program. We founded it over at Vista Unified, and I told Vince, I'm gonna do. We're artists. We're running a comic book program. Let's make a comic. So he's like, all right, cool. I got an idea. Tamale Guy. All right, let's roll with it. So we were supposed to only do like 2 pages, and I was going up to WonderCon, and we met Fabrice Sapolsky, the co-creator of Spider-Man Noir. So I'm buying a comic from him. He does a lot of comics about immigrants, like immigrant superheroes, and I'm first generation born, so that immediately gets my attention. So I'm like, hey man, let me show you what we're doing. So I show him the 2 pages, just thumbnail, rough sketches, and it's about a tamalero, and he wants to honor his grandmother at the World Tamale Championship. But Dr. Muerte, like, he hates him or he wants to crush his tamales. It was really ridiculous. It's supposed to be like kind of for kids. And as I'm telling the story, like he's starting to get deep into it, and he's looking at it, and he gets mad, and he's all like, "How many pages?" I tell him, "I like 2, 3," and he's like an angry, like not angry, like fiery Frenchman, and he's like, "No, no, it needs a whole comic, at least 50, 70 pages." I'm like, "What?" And and then like he was just like, he's like, "Go work on it. This has potential." And then I'm like, "All right." So I hit a Vince. I go, "Hey, bro, I just got yelled at by Fabrice Sapolsky. I think he says we got something."
So yeah, that's kind of how it started. And the idea behind Tamale Guy actually came from the after school program. One of our when I used to teach fourth grade here, we made a comic for part of our project, and we thought about the problems, character design, all that types of stuff. And then the original comic was called Tamale Guy. And so I said, let's just roll with that theme. And then when Ish met Fabrice Sapolsky, it kind of turned into this big thing. So we would take it, have meetings pretty much every day, sit down and talk about
Mm-hmm.
his storyboard, talk about the character design, that type of stuff. And we really had enough for at least what, over 200 pages, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, over 200 pages. So we had to decide, this is going to be like a huge graphic novel, and let's put out the first issue. Then we ran into was it going to be 24 pages, 26 pages,
Mm-hmm.
and then the design process starts rolling. So then we had to decide, like, who's going to do the drawing here, because we're both incredible artists, and I really respect Ish's inks. So I said, you know what, why don't you do the inks, I do all the color. And we just practiced it that way, and the first page came about, and the rough drafts came about. And ever since then, that's kind of the formula that it's been. And then we both collaborated on like the storyline,
Mm-hmm.
as far as like, you know, having a script and things like that. So basically, the script just comes from our favorite movies, also our favorite TV shows, our family. There's a lot of our family in there, best friends. It's basically just a whole, you know, mix of all those different types of things.
Oh, cool, cool, cool. So with that, and I know you were saying you and Ish, was teaching this class. Do you
Mm.
find it? And I don't know. You sort of get this a lot of times, especially with maybe like design teachers or art teachers, where you get some of them that they talk about the process and talk about how you need to do certain things, but actually executing on an ideal.
Oh yeah.
Um, do you? I mean, maybe from both your perspectives, how much like energy do you find yourself like? Wow, I mean, I didn't know if there was a point to where like you felt like, did we, is this too much, or did we felt like we just got to keep going on it, or
Oh, I mean, let me just chime in on that. This project tested us. I mean, I know it tested me. I actually had to see a physical therapist because I almost ruined the teres major underneath my shoulder blade just from so much drawing. Uh, Honestly, I remember Vince told me one time, because we didn't know what we were getting into, and I'm glad we didn't, you know. And he told me one time we were stressing, man, and he goes, "Hey, if you weren't in this project, I would have quit a long time ago." And I laughed because I was thinking the exact same thing. And it's like it's good to have someone you're working with, because like Vince is waiting on my inks, and I'm waiting on his colors. We're like I have, I got to be there for him. He's got to be there for me. You don't want to let the other guy down.
It's almost
And
like a battle. You got to kind of like
it
sharpen
is,
your
yeah,
sword,
yeah,
yeah,
It
yeah.
goes back to like, I relate everything to hip hop, It goes back to like how Wu-Tang used to do it, One guy, Raekwon, would come in and write a verse, and then, maybe Method Man or RZA had to come in and write he would listen to it, and he had to write his verse even better. So it's kind of, it turns into kind of maybe like a friendly competition thing, but it's good
Mhm.
because we're both on the same team, I call it the home team.
yeah.
So,
Mhm.
so
Man.
yeah.
Yeah, I always yeah, I think that's probably the biggest thing. I definitely notice, especially with people that that teach about certain concepts and that actually you find yourself like executing an ideal. So like I didn't know like maybe now coming back like finishing actually doing this project. What are some things that you would go back and be like, okay, maybe I should have adjusted this way, or I didn't know if there was certain things that you may have felt like, man, I should have went a whole completely different route with this.
Oh, dude, I think
So many things.
there were so many first time we've ever done, like when we had a whole drawing style and we showed it actually to Kid, from Kid Comics, and we go like, dude, what do you think? And he looked it over and he's all like, this isn't really working, that's okay, this is kind of confusing. And it was the first time we got an outside perspective. So I'm all like, dude, we got to scrap this style. We had to rebuild it all over again. And it was that feeling of like, oh, we got to rebuild, because we would go really far. Like I lettered the whole comic, and I met Fabrice again, actually talking to Kid. And I told him, hey, Kid, look, check it out. And he was like, dude, this looks better visually. And he's all like, great. And I was like happy. I'm like, dude, I think we're getting somewhere. And I saw Fabrice, and Fabrice, I'm like, hey, check it out, dude. And he goes, I don't remember you. And I go, well, I remember you. Look at this. And he looks at it, he's all stern. And I don't want to cuss on your show, but oh, I could? Okay, good. Because it's a true story. I told Kid, I go, Kid, I'm just worried that someone's gonna tell me my work looks like shit. And Kid goes, nobody's gonna tell you that, man. People are not like that. I go, okay. And I see Fabrice, I show him the work, and he looks at it and he's all like, okay. Can I be perfectly honest? I said, yeah. And he's all like, your lettering is shit. And I go, fuck, And he goes, look at this word balloon. It's awful. It's awful. This is awful. This is bad. And I was like, oh man. He's all like, but this is good. And I go, okay, good. And he goes, but it's ruined by the lettering. I go, bro, So we had to go back and get the book, Nate Picos or whatever his name is, the letter god, and had to go back and just like learn Illustrator. I've never used it. We had to start from scratch, and letter the whole comic all over again,
lots of things that you had to learn, and
there were
go back and read books and learn them all over again,
Yeah.
But thank God we had a lot of people in our corner, shout out to Kid,
straight up.
Shout out to Fabrice Sapolsky for believing in that project, and also shout out to Forbidden Futures.
Oh, dude. Yeah,
they're
real
G's. Been behind us, since day one. And it's nice to have people that you could talk to that are veterans in the game, because I didn't know anything about this type of stuff going into it, and big shout out to them, for helping us out and answering any of our questions along the way.
That's good. That's nice. So what's been the response right now with Tamale Guy? I mean, I know you said, like I said, I know you sent me the PDF. I started reading some of the pages and it was already, I love the colors.
All Vince.
Amazing.
That's all Vince.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So yeah, I already know like off the top, I started reading it. I was like, it's gonna get wild anyway. So I still gotta finish it, but it looked like it was a fun little read. But what for right now, I mean, from what's been the response, with Tamale Guy right now?
Well, I would say like people that have been following us just as illustrators, like for my part, I know Vince had people admire his murals.
Mm-hmm.
When they found out that we were doing a comic, they were just like, you two guys are doing a comic? We're like, yeah, we're doing it. So they're gonna, so right away it was positive, but like Vince said, it has been snowballing. It's crazy. Like I remember when we would stay after school at the cafeteria and we'd be eating like Mexican candy and sodas just to be more energetic. We would have these what if conversations, I call them Hail Marys. I'm like, bro, imagine if we did a big old party with lowriders and hip hop. And we like, between you and your homie, you don't feel embarrassed because you're in it and you're in the trenches. But you don't want to tell people outside that circle because then they're going to look at you like, oh, you're crazy, man. Like, dude, like get real, So I feel like it's like an adrenaline rush because all these things, I feel like we've been manifesting them, through like so much help. There's no way we can do it by ourselves. We have people like Vince said that believed in us, like Elevated 760 was one of the first people that really was like, dude, you guys have something special. Let's organize something. And I just feel super humbled that people have been buying into our vision. And I think they just see that, like, I mean, I guess us being teachers and always trying to like help people out, like they see that mentorship, the caring, the respect, and ego, like ego don't fly with us, you know, like we're all about coming up as a community.
Yeah, lots of positive responses. Everybody who I've showed it to, we try not leak out too much because it's about to release next month.
Yeah, yeah.
But everybody who's seen it, it's like wow, like where the hell did you guys think of this stuff? It's like, like it's just snowballed so much. We got people in the rap industry that are interested in. Big
Mm-hmm.
shout out, to them. Shout out to RM the Poet,
Oh, straight up.
Michael Gabriel, all them, and the Cake It Lab guys.
Yeah,
And
Osai Lens, straight
yeah,
up.
we just got so many different types of people that are giving us positive feedback. We got a guy that's shout out to Mario Espinoza. He's out here writing a corrido for the song, Mexican corrido for the song to match the comic book. So
Nice.
he I had to send it to him when he's a composer and he's writing these lyrics and he's like, man, like this is cool, man. Like you got something here. And it's just been so many people giving us positive feedback. It's like you show it to people, and I think it's what separates us, is there's a little something different in there. You have this Mexican culture, you have just the Chicano culture in general in comics, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to bring the Chicano culture into comics, and and have an element of masculinity and also the
Mm-hmm.
feminism. You got all the elements wrapped into one. So
Yeah, that's great.
it's
That's
been good.
yeah. I mean, having that representation in art. I mean, that's especially in comics. I mean, that's is definitely needed. I think that's been the biggest thing. Uh, and obviously, you always see a lot of comic book companies. They're trying to, but I mean, I know even doing my own personal artwork, and I've had people and kids come up to me and be like, "Hey, I love your art just because like I see myself in that art."
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm represented. So yeah, I mean, I think having that representation and seeing once this releases and seeing people like see this and like, hey, this is our culture, and seeing that reflected. I mean, that's something that's it's needed. It's and I hopefully we have more artists and more creators like both of you, being able to be highlighted and magnified and promoted, and showing the diversity that especially around golly, especially around here. I'm originally from the South, so coming here and sort of seeing the diversity. It's like I said, it's always inspiring and seeing all the different cultures and all the different clashes and ideals and just things that's always coming up around here. But it's always refreshing to see the things that the comics that even both of you are putting out with Tamale Guy.
Oh, can I just say one thing? I just want to say that the first community that really helped us out was the Black Nerd Circle. Uh, Thanks to my wife, JD
For real.
Banks, and organizing the Black Nerds Expo, the 99% of the comic book creators were Black nerds.
Mhm.
And they were the ones that were just like, it was like they inspired us. Like we would go buy their comics, read them. Actually, Quantar, I remember being excited to introduce Vince to you, and just like
Mhm.
we're like, how do I do this? How do I get started? I remember talking to Rodney, like, how do I write a script? And everyone would take the time, and or Cause was just so crazy with his black splatterpunk racial dystopia stuff, and I was like, dude, this is incredible, and like that, and that's funny because, you would think like we come up in a Chicano circle, which we did. There's a lot of artists, but it was really the Black Nerds Expo that was really the first foundation to building this.
Good
Yeah,
deal.
from
Good
there,
deal. Yeah.
we started meeting more like the Chicano community also. That they were really one of the first groups of people that embraced us,
Nice.
and led the way.
So tell me a little bit about the and I recently just saw it on, and I try my best with the podcast to like share, different events, different things. And I happened to, I just saw it, I think it might have been the day or maybe the day before, and I saw it pop up about the art festival. Like, oh wow, this is cool. So tell me a little bit about that.
Okay, so yeah, it's gonna be sick. Come on out, February 24th. We're having the big Tamale Guy comic book release. It's gonna be, Chicano Art Festival featuring our comic book, the release of it. We're gonna have a lowrider showcase. We're gonna have live graffiti artists painting there.
Mhm.
I'll be doing a piece there, and also, we have a lot of dope artists that are performing there. We have a cumbia band. We have like four different rappers that are going to come out and perform. The list goes on and on. And it's just going to be a time to come out, celebrate Chicano culture, uh, pick up a comic book, read Tamale Guy, and just come out and celebrate with us. We're going to shut down part of the street in downtown Vista. That's how big it's going to be. So it's gonna be some epic stuff that's going on there.
Nice. And when did you say the date was on that again?
February 24th. It's
Okay.
February 24th from 2 to 6. Yeah. Bring all
Yeah.
your family, bring your friends, everybody.
Mhm.
We want everybody there to
Is,
celebrate with
is,
us.
is Tamale Guy gonna be present to have homemade tamales?
Oh, we're talking about that.
We're
Yeah.
working on it. We're working on it.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, we're working on that. That's another piece to the
Yeah,
puzzle,
tacos have been in the spotlight too long. Tamales got to come
right?
up too.
Yeah.
Right?
You know what? I'm trying my best to. I think I've been trying to find the right tamale. I've got some people, they'll make the homemade tamales, and I guess depending on how you make them, some of them are like, oh, those are good, and then some of them are like, oh, it's not me. But I find myself being a taco guy, but until I find the right tamale,
Yeah, you gotta have the right ones, brother.
yeah. Well, so what would you say? What would be the perfect tamale?
Oh,
You
I
know
know,
what?
I know.
Everybody makes them different.
Yeah.
Everybody, it depends on like where your family's from, Like I know, like every, anybody you ask is gonna say they have the best tamales. So it just depends on like your family, where they come from. I know even writing the comic book and the script, like
Mhm.
we had a little thing going. It's just like, hey man, let me draw this, and he wanted to put the wrap around the people wrap the tamales.
Mhm.
And in my family, we don't do that. So it was
Oh,
like,
okay.
should we have that on there? Should we not? You know what I mean?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
it's part of the traditions. So
And
it's
not
the
only
answer is
that,
there's no perfect tamale.
well, what
There's no
tripped us
perfect.
out is Vince started finding books on, we both started researching tamales,
Mhm.
and we actually found out it goes back to Aztec metaphysics, um that the sauce was actually symbolic of sacrificial blood, and that they believed that people came from corn. So it was like the breaking out of the husk, and it was just so weird. I would have never thought that in a million
It's a whole
years.
cycle.
Oh, wow.
Hmm.
Huh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
so
like this
we
whole
actually had to
cosmic
go
drama.
back and do research on this whole type of thing. Because whenever you do murals too, whenever you paint stuff, and even in art, somebody's always going to call you out. They're always going to be like, hey, you know what,
Yes. Hmm.
that 62 Chevy doesn't have those lights on it that you painted, or whatever it is. But as far as tamales go, like, we really had to do our research on it so we know about it. And you could find that out in the comic when you read
Even
it.
the chilies.
Yeah,
Remember, we had to make sure we had the
even
right
down
chilies.
to the
Like,
chilies, down to the
mhm.
masa, everything. Like when you read the comic, you'll get a little history lesson too. So it's
Mhm.
Huh.
the
Oh, and I
answer
just
is there's no perfect tamal.
no.
It's all about preference. Some people like, green chili, some people like red, some people like pork, chicken, vegan tamales. It's just all preference, if it was up to me, I'd choose red and pork.
Okay.
So that's just me. In my family,
Oh,
we come from Jerez, Zacatecas, and that's what I know.
I
All
mean,
right.
I'll take bean jalapenos. That's my favorite.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I think the last one I tried was I think it was pork. Uh, pork with the red sauce. I think it was the last one. But
Mhm.
it's sort of weird because like I'll go down to the Sunset Market and they'll do it
Mhm.
with the I guess in the corn. I don't know if it's corn. The way they
Oh,
put it in the
the
pots.
banana leaves.
Yeah, I'm not sure how they make it, but I, I like those. But I've gotten them before, like someone else made them homemade, and it was sort of just I think it was like too dry. Like when I got
Oh,
the husk and
Mm.
everything else, it was too. So I was
Mm.
like,
They're delicate, man. You can mess up tamales fast.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
man, it got me hungry now, huh? Uh, so with right now, I mean, with everything, like I said, I know it could be a just a load off your shoulders to release this book.
Yes.
What do you see? What's the future of Tamale Guy? Like, where do you see this going?
I mean, just like, okay, like we're talking about visions and manifesting. Like we wanted to write a story that all of North County, San Diego, all the West Coast is going to be reading. And I know it's like a really ambitious thing and you can come off as arrogant, but it was that drive that made us go forward. We wanted to be the best, and not just the artwork, but the story. And it's the feeling like
Mhm.
when you're with your cousins and you're young and your uncles or your tias are telling you stories. A lot of those stories are incredible, but they disappear when people stop talking. And we wanted to capture that like in a bottle, and everyone can sample from it and be like, "Oh, that's right, I remember that feeling I had." But at the same time, like, don't get it twisted. There's going to be some blood and guts in the story. Vince and I love horror. You know,
Yes, true.
dude, I mean, my last book or 2 books ago, Blubber Island, straight up splatterpunk. I mean, I grew up with all the crazy horror stuff. And actually, we reached the point where I said, hey, if we take this turn, like this can't be for the kids anymore. Like, what do you
Yeah,
think? You know, we're at a crossroads.
yeah.
And Vince is like, dude, we got to do what we got to do. You know,
So the way
so
we imagined it, we pretty much the way we sum it up, we say, it's your grandmother's favorite novela meets Blood in Blood Out meets La Bamba, and with a little bit of Friday the 13th.
Okay.
mhm.
So yeah, that's kind of how we do it, and the characters are really interesting characters, and they're all developed from people like, for example, Tamale Guy. He's basically your favorite Mexican uncle that you respect, as he's a legend in the streets. He makes these tamales that are just legendary, and we want the audience to have that feeling about the characters. They, like you said, they relate to them, and we really did a lot of work in putting all those details into the characters so that you could feel a certain type of way when you're reading it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
But as far as like the grand vision, we're planning on putting out 5 to 10 issues, and then from there we would make it like a graphic novel like series, and we could
Mhm.
do like what did you call it, Ish, the book that we're
Yes,
gonna.
a hardcover graphic novel, you know, easily over 100 pages. I wouldn't want it to go on like indefinitely. I like a story to have like every issue I wanted to hit hard,
mhm.
you know. And I feel like even when I watch a miniseries, like The Watchmen on HBO, every episode left you stunned, and that's what we want for every issue that we put out.
Yeah. All right. That's gonna be nice. Yeah, that collected hardcover. That's gonna look pretty cool.
Mhm.
Um, well, like I said, I commend you on on that journey. Yeah, it's always commendable, seeing what both of y'all are doing right now, and because there's a lot of people that they say they want to do it until they actually put in the actual work, and it is something else completely different. So yeah, it's like I said, I commend you again for actually producing this and getting it out there and getting it. I'm sure you have to promote it, marketing
Yes.
and everything
Mhm.
else. So that's always a part of it too. What are some different ways both of you what are some different ways you're marketing the book?
Well, we're gonna do a Kickstarter, you
Okay.
know, so that's gonna be with like the rewards, original artwork, you know, just
Different
some cool
tiers.
swag. different tiers of rewards. Instagram, I actually want to blow off a little steam right now. Instagram, I don't know why, but Instagram, we started the Triple OG account. People are following us. It's growing. And now I don't know if we're growing too fast, but it keeps like restricting us from commenting on our own posts. And what grates my nerves is it says, oh, we're restricting it because we're protecting the community. And I'm like, protecting the community? Like,
We're
are we
building the community.
I'm not like, are two Chicano entrepreneurs a threat? Like, we're not spamming anyone. We're only commenting on people that are following us or commenting on, we
Believe
can
in
even,
us.
and yeah, and it's just like, but I'm sure it's the algorithm. You want to blame it what it is. Those, but you know what's funny? Vince, I always say, it's not if things go wrong, it's when things go wrong.
Yeah.
It's just a never ending train. And by now it's so second nature. I'm like, hey, Vince, the file's not working, or this isn't going good. You almost don't even get frustrated anymore. It's a waste of time. You just focus on the solution. You almost get like inoculated to things going wrong like all the time,
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, just through Instagram, we got Facebook, we just been pushing it in social media. And then, with this giant release party, if you don't know who we are now, you're gonna know after February 24th. Believe me, because this thing's it's growing and it's snowballing. It's gonna be huge. So, between that, we have the Kickstarter going with the different tiers, and then we're gonna launch our website soon. So,
Mm-hmm.
you should be able to buy it online. And not everybody lives here and could pick a copy up from us. So, we got
So
friends across the
boom,
United
right here.
I got friends in the
Ooh,
United States. I
nice.
got friends across the world right now. So,
Yeah.
we're gonna we're gonna distribute it to them, and it will get shipped out to them, and hopefully it gets in, everybody's hands that wants a copy of it. You know, Triple OGs will be worldwide soon.
That's right. Global domination.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So right now, I mean, what are some creative tips? Like I said, both of you can answer this. Creative tips for our audience.
Oh, well, I guess I'll go first really quick. Like, for example, let's see if I got like, don't mess around. Go straight to the masters. When you want to learn something like lettering, illustration, whatever, uh, YouTube only takes you so far. You're gonna have to put in that grind. Go get the best books. Check out the reviews. It's gonna suck. You're gonna sit there for 2 weeks reading something, and you got to figure out yourself. You can't
Hmm.
be hoping someone's gonna save you. Like, you're gonna have to go through that grind. But really, it's get a library, get a collection of the best books you can find on each topic. You can reach out to people, but you don't want to like come off as annoying, like needy. It makes you look weak. Number one. Number two, that's your job. If you want to create a comic, dude, if you want to create a comic, it's like you got to be willing to walk through the fire. Like, and I don't mean like everything from hurting your neck, hurting your back, uh, what's that, tendonitis, and then just psychological. Like sometimes there's so many moving parts that you're stressed. I mean, you come home super tired, and while everyone else gets to watch TV, you're it's like you're in college. You're like cracking the books, you're getting to draw, but at the same time, like there is going to be like it's going to be worth it. Like anything that's going to be worth it, it's going to be difficult, it's going to challenge you, and by the time you get to the end, you're going to be such a stronger person in general. Like things that used to just debilitate me with stress, now it's just like, oh, whatever. Like it really tests you.
For
Some
me, I
good
would say,
tips.
just to be original, in anything that you do. If you look at, a lot of these shows, movies, a lot of stuff that's coming out is just recycled stuff. you know put something out there, that my tip is to put something out there that's new and that you thought of, and be original. And second of all, believe in yourself when you do
Mm-hmm.
it, because like Ish said, there's going to be times that tempt you. Make something for yourself that you like, not that you think somebody else is going to like, because trust yourself, and know that what you like is going to be cool and other people will like
Mhm.
it. If you believe in it, other people will back you and believe in it.
Yeah,
And
that's yeah. Go
you
ahead.
know, one more thing I would say also, like you're working with a collaborator, don't like always listen. Like there was times when don't get like oh it's my way or the highway. Like there's a lot of times when I was you develop a system, like for instance I'll come up with an idea and
Mhm.
Vince will give me some pushback. You know what really I think is happening is like you're really testing each other. Like how important is this idea to you? If it's important to you, you'll fight for it. If it's not, it's weak and it'll die. You know, so don't take things personal. Don't let things fester. If you think something's not working right away, that's what I love about working with Vince. If he thinks something's bad, he'll be like, bro, that's whack. You know, and I'm like, all right, let's
Straight
go
up,
with it. You know,
straight
and
up.
you're not being rude. You know, you respect each other, but you're not saying like the person is whack. You're saying the idea. Let's test the idea. Let's put it under the fire and see if it survives. And if it does, then okay, pass the test.
Yeah, I like those. I like those. Yeah, like I said, I'm always sort of see myself as a, big on experimentation, and yeah, I love like, hey, if it's a crazy idea, let's test it, see if we get feedback on it, go back
Mm-hmm.
to it, see what works, what doesn't work. Um, yeah, I mean those are some great tips. I mean that's something I know I can definitely use. I sometimes I heck I find myself making sure that hey I've got an ideal you know making sure things actually work or if it's plausible and yeah, so it's one of those where just definitely just believing in yourself and understanding, it always helps having that person with you that's collaborating with you, and you can sort of you know go back and forth with ideals, see what works, what isn't working, and come out with the best possible product. Yeah, those are awesome. Great tips. So right now, I mean, what is inspiring you right now? What things sort of keep you, when you wake up in the morning? What things are inspiring you around your world right now?
Oh, Vince, you want to go first?
I think yeah, for me it's mostly like family. You know what I mean? Family always comes first. So it's for me it's I know I got people in my corner that back me 100% and know that whatever I'm gonna come up with is gonna be is gonna be a great product. You know, and second of all, I enjoy like the creative minds. Talking to other people that make music, talking to other people that make art, and learning from people. I think that's how we learn. We learn from each other. There's one thing to read books and learn from that, but I learn from talking to people and learning what they're doing, and gaining their support. So, I think mostly just like family, like in music, and those types of things.
You know, I agree 100%. I want to make my family proud. You know, I've always told my parents, oh, I want to be an artist. And, they've always like, oh, artist, here we go. And it's all love, you know. I feel like even dreams should be tested. The other thing too is I just want to see how far I can go. Like you think you know yourself, and then you set a gigantic goal where it's like scary. You don't the thing is you want to set a big goal, you're afraid you can fail, and people will be like, oh, see, told you, you know and that's just the price you pay. And every step, like saying like the block party, connecting with like other high level artists that we respect, um and getting this comic out, it's like okay, I can keep going farther. How much farther can I go now that we accomplished that? Like you're saying, what's the next step? What's the next bigger thing? Like we're talking about even doing GammaCon in Mexico City. Let's go there. We're also talking about doing Comic Con Tokyo. And you feel that roller coaster thing in your gut. You're like, oh
Hmm.
man, like, are we really? And it's just like, well, I always say my favorite line from Arnold Schwarzenegger. He says, well, there's the ground, how far can I fall? And things like that really motivate me. I just want to see just how far I can go while I still have all my health and a healthy brain, I guess.
Yeah. That's great. And then speaking of health, and I've noticed, I said, Ish, you've been in the gym.
Yeah,
So
after like a 6 months out.
yeah. So I know personally for me, like I I use the gym, fitness as a part of my just overall just health in general. But I use that, and like I said, I try to urge a lot of people in the cradle field that hey, get in the gym, especially if
Mhm.
you're trying to build a brand, build a company. Um, it's not for the faint of heart, and like
No.
you've got to have everything internally, spiritually, mentally, physically
Yes.
built up. Have those people around you. So yeah, I sort of noticed. I was like, oh, I see. Ish is he's getting in the gym now, and I didn't know if you sort of noticed any changes yet. I know I've been me. Like I said, I've probably been training for half my life, so it's a little sort of second nature to me. But I do use that as far as like when people ask me, like how do you have all the energy to
Yes. Hmm.
work with clients, do a podcast, and you're coaching
Hmm.
and training. I that my help my training routine. I mean, it's like I got to be able to do that. If I didn't do that, I'd be broke down by now. There's no way.
Well,
um,
it's been scientifically proven. They did this with high school students who take PE in the morning do statistically better at math and science. You're getting fresh blood going to your brain, more oxygen. There's a science to it. Stress relief.
mhm,
That's the big one. And the other thing is, man, I've been injured, and Vince knows all my injuries. If when I had my tendonitis, that knocked me out for 2 weeks. When I had my teres major, that knocked me out for like 3 weeks. I can't afford to be out for 3 weeks. And I'm the kind of artist, I don't want to say I don't like taking vacations, but if I'm not working, I'm stressed. I love being on a mission, on a journey. That makes me feel good, and I can't be breaking down.
yeah, yep, agree on that one. Um, Yeah, that's always needed. I try to urge a lot of creators, hey, look, go walk. I mean, you don't have to go, like I said, I wrestle and train with college kids. You don't have to do that, but I'm saying at least go out and go walking. Get some fresh air, breathe,
Hmm.
get your mind right because I'm saying mental health is tough and especially in people in the cradle field, all it takes is some bad criticism or just to just like give up completely. And I've seen it before. So I do urge people, hey, look, get some kind of training routine, build your body up, get tough,
Hmm. Get
um,
tough. Hmm.
because you're gonna take criticism, you're gonna take some fire. So you might as well build yourself up, get ready for it. Because like you said, your dreams are gonna test you. If
Hmm.
if everybody, like I said, if everybody got what they wanted, I I don't know, it's probably a better world, but it's just some people I mean, a lot of people they get tested. You got your dreams. The universe is like, okay, how serious are you about those dreams? So,
Hmm.
and it'll
Yeah.
test you in different ways. So, yeah, it's one of those where keep your mind right. Like I said, like I said, I applaud you for being in the gym, and getting that routine going, and yeah, like I said, you can't really, especially out here, you can't afford not to not to be out
Right.
of commission. You want to be as healthy as possible. So, um, before we sign off, what are some words of wisdom for our audience? And like I said, anyone you can fire away, just some ending words of wisdom for our audience before we sign off.
Oh well, if Vince, if I go first, it's all good.
Go ahead.
Uh, I think that you almost got to be an obsessive. Like you almost have to be a little bit fanatical, where it's like maybe your friends and family, they'll look at you a little bit weird, uh, but at the same time you got to balance that out. I mean, you can't disregard people around you. In the end, comics and all that, it's a social thing. Like I remember even Vince would tell me like, hey, you got to come out to Rosewood, you got to go meet people. And I said, I'm busy, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. He goes, this is work, come here. So don't become an antisocial weirdo. At the end of the day, like it really is, it's a people business. Like it's not just your work, it's you as an artist. But at the same time, anyone who really wants to make any dream really work. You do got to be a little bit like extra driven, where you're going to get angry, you're going to get sad, you're going to get high up, like, oh man, and just be ready for that. That's it's a different level of thinking.
Yep.
And I would say,
Vince, what about you?
Just continue, with your creativeness, always create new things. Don't be afraid to push yourself and just believe in yourself. Don't give up on your dream. If you want to do something, have a plan for it and try and accomplish that goal. So, if you never know what you could do until you try. Everybody has, I always tell my family, I say, everybody who has our blood in them has something special. So you just haven't unlocked it yet, like you haven't got your achievement unlocked. Maybe I found mine, maybe I haven't. I got family members that play instruments, sing, dance, whatever it may be. Art just came to me. So, if you haven't found that yet, you are good at something. So just continue to look, you just haven't found it yet.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, everybody. Yeah, that's something I urge everybody to go after. I think everybody's got at least 2 or 3 great gifts, and a lot of people is not even using maybe one of them.
Right.
So, yeah, I truly believe that yeah, everybody's got to figure out ways of unlocking it. And definitely biggest regret is not having the chance or the opportunity to do that. It's you definitely want to be at the end of your life and be like, man, I wish I'd
Oh,
done
that's what
that.
a nightmare.
That'd been the worst thing. Like, you're 80 years old, like, wow, I wish I would have go ahead and just created Tamale Guy. What was I thinking? That would have been, that's death right there. It's like that what if, like,
Yeah,
so
definitely.
so yeah, it's been a great conversation. How can people reach out to the both of y'all? What's the best way of connecting, and maybe purchasing the book or getting on Kickstarter? What are all those contacts?
Yeah, definitely Instagram. I'm cool stuff, man. Vince, he's your
Invincible 760
mhm.
on
And
Instagram. You
we
can
have
follow
the
me on Facebook.
official Triple OG account. Hopefully, Instagram will stop restricting us. I'm sure it's just a little glitch. I'm not going to cook up no conspiracy theories.
Well, I'm
But
gonna
we
cook
will
it
have
up.
but we'll have the Kickstarter. We're announcing that really soon. We're just shooting the promo video, which was a lot of fun. We all kept messing up our lines, and but again, we had RM the poet come down, the master of promos, and he was helping like bro, you got to get into it and get loosened up. So I never thought we'd be taking basically acting lessons on the fly, to make it work. But that's just another dimension we got to learn.
Yep. That's
Yeah.
great. That's awesome. Oh, and then Vince. You said
Yeah.
Invincible 760.
Yeah.
760. Okay.
Invincible with my name Vince in the middle. So it's in Vince and then Able 760. So
Okay.
you can follow me on Instagram. Go ahead and follow Triple OG's comics, Triple OG's comics on Instagram also. And then the Kickstarter will be up very, very soon, hopefully by next week. So you'll be seeing that. And then, the last thing I say, come out to our event. I'm sure you'll be seeing it. You'll be seeing the flyer soon. If you don't know, you're about to know. So, come out to our event February 24th, downtown Vista, February 24th, 2 to 6. We're going to have the Lowrider Showcase. We're going to have live graffiti art painting and, come out and celebrate with us. We're going to have live people performing and pick up a copy of Tamale Guy. You get it autographed there and, enjoy it. Come celebrate with us.
Yeah. And if you're a creator and like you're listening to this and you want to get started, stop by. Like, we don't have secrets. We want there to be more comic artists, that's the thing. The more the merrier, and if you have a question, if I can save you 50 hours of time by, preventing the pitfalls that we fell into, that's great.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Yeah, I'll definitely be there at the festival. So I definitely want to check that out. So hey, yeah. Um, awesome episode with Ish, with Vince. Quick shout out to my sponsors, Elevate Coffee Trading, based in the Dallas, Texas area, Baba Coffee, that's here in Carlsbad, and then also No Luck. So thank you for those three sponsors. Like I said, they've been great supporters of the show, and we're just gonna keep it going. So just a quick shout out to them. You'll be able to check out this episode on Spotify, SoundCloud, and Apple Podcasts. Full video will be on my YouTube page at Quantel Langford. So this will be live in the next probably week or so. And but so yeah, and you'll be able to see snippets of this episode on Instagram, Facebook. So it'll be sort of scattered around there. But like I said, once again, thank you, Ish, Vince, for coming onto the show, sharing your story, talking about Tamale Guy. Maybe giving me some hope on finding the not so perfect tamale, but finding something that I may want to try out. So I'll still be on the search. I'm gonna be on the search for that. So
Don't give up.
Hey, you got to find the real tamale guy.
Yeah,
to,
yeah, I
to make
know.
the
Oh, yeah,
legendary
yeah,
tamale. Yeah, it's in the comic. He makes the perfect one. The only person who makes the perfect tamal.
Oh, okay. All right. And this has been another episode of the Creative Brew. So be creative, stay inspired.
About to give you ups and downs, all the wins and the outs and the smiles and frowns. They will tell you.